I guess I ought to address an issue that I know that goes to the very core of the problem, and why we're all here now, as opposed to 500 million years ago. When you realize it's a cosmic level reset, and we put it through the Borgia matrix quarantine victimizer experiment. And a couple of the things that I've always emphasized, and why I always talk about my childhood, because I never forgot my memory, and how important that is when you use the word in English called assimilation and you don't remember who you are. And that has everything to do with turning off sensors, like killing trees, the records of trees, the permanent records, and being able to communicate directly with every living sentient life form and translate those frequencies of communication. Being able to read and receive and send, to communicate with every life form that exists in all creation. Because we're protecting all life in all creation. Because we experience no pressure. We're everywhere at once. And that's oneness. And that's where the forgiveness side of things, forgiving them all for what they've done to us, including our children, and how difficult that is. That's why I forgave them all before I was born, or I would not have been able to perform the level of precision that was required for a cosmic reset. The Guardians Alliance Shield. Are we capable of being able to do that? And I know there are a couple of words in the English language that have to do with that, called learning speed. The speed at which we're learning how to do that. Learning how to become one, which is letting go of every single electron, which is total forgiveness, which is experiencing being totally relaxed with no pressure and totally loved, which is the eternal core, the echo core of a true vacuum. Yeah. So that tied directly into that little message that was left up there yesterday. So there wasn't a coincidence why I received that comm from Divine Born Angel, and she talked about commissions. Moving on. Yeah. What it even means to be a guardian. I always kept that simple as a child. When I first went into fire protection and emergency medical services to serve the community, when I looked at a picture that was back in the 1930s of people who were working in fire services, and I thought to myself, I'm going to go up the ladder, the stairway to heaven, because the reason I want to go up the ladder, not the same reason they go up their ladder as a hierarchy, but in order to protect all of them that serve, because they're serving the community in love and service to others. And how that relates to a planetary shield, galactic shield, universal shield, cosmic level shield, to protect all sentient life forms from any future potential harm. And the easiest way to do that is velocity, the angular momentum of a magnetosphere, our spin, our light spirit body, our over unity body, naturally gifted electrons that go on forever, building communication platforms, creating new life forms, planting new seeds. What do you want to seed next? What do you want to create next? So you realize that your creative imagination is on fire, because the creative mind of creation, the eternal engine, is not a competitive mind. It is a creative mind that is on fire, because you're not holding on to one electron. So we experience no pressure. Wow. Light as light can be. Operating in the electric field and the light field. Right. No matter. There's no matter yet. Yeah. The electromagnetic spectrum does not exist yet. It's non-existent. Non-existent. Experience being one with all creation. Equal. Feeling equal. Feeling absolutely equal. That's why it was so beautiful when I go in the forest when I was a little kid. Okay, you're out there, I'm out here. We're equal. You have every right to be out there and be what you are, which is the bear and in spirit, the bear spirit. And then there's my spirit. I'm out there to protect you all. That's why when I was a little boy, I identified with Tarzan and Jane. I'm Tarzan and Jane as one. Protecting everything in the forest. All the flora, all the fauna, the water, the clouds, everything that we see. Right? In other words, we're our own weather station. Wow. The atmospherics, the PSI-coded neutrinos, naturally gifting electrons to build capacitors on motherboards, knowing how to rebuild a motherboard that broke. Broken circuits. So you know what happens when you have perfect structural engineering, spiritual integrity, which is full integration, experiencing being one. So we're all experiencing being loved by the first engine, the first engineer, the first DNA engineer, the first temple builder. Wow, the first tempo, the first breather. Cells that love to breathe fire. Born of fire, the first volcano. So I always kept it simple. I was born in a volcano. I'll go jump into a volcano again. And I almost did that a few years ago when Kilauea was pretty active. There was a time to go dance with Mama Spirit. Born of fire. So the last thing that we're afraid of is fire. Right? Being burned alive. I'm a live one. Live fire. Cosmic fire. Cosmic creation fire. So I got a message in my window this morning because I post things in windows to people that represent our family, the 12 clans and tribes, and one of them mentioned me this morning. I'm not gonna feed any energy to that anymore. We're learning together. So I know that I put things in people's windows. It's not very comfortable because now I'm experiencing what's not very comfortable. But I acknowledge the truth and how that relates to how much have you learned? How long have you been around? And how that relates to learning speed. Right? And letting go of the abuser. That's why I got the signal when I did. And how that relates to sensing capacity. Because we're already a communication listening post. Right? Communicating directly with all sentient life forms. So we already have a communication platform called a cell. A cellular antenna. Yeah. And so that's why they're always selling us stuff and always telling us what to do. So all the technology that came out that bring the beast system, you know, how it all comes together, right? Because the more that it's learning about us, what we like, what we're attracted to provide electrical consent by what it learns, then they sell that. That technology comes online as a market, an investment vehicle. So we're the investment vehicle. We're the vehicle for the investors. Then invest in communication technologies. Then they sell it to us. Now they maintain the electrical consent that we give to feed them, to provide them electrical power, to run that communication platform. That's why they're everywhere. Michael Jacobs' channel, right? Providing intel. And you can see the information that those people are providing. And I already know by having monitored their channels, the cycles that they're running at, which is 222. So when I'm going on their channel, My consciousness is running their 222 because that's what I'm experiencing in my mirror, which is their mirror, which is not the same mirror. So we're providing electrical consent to power a phantom matrix. It doesn't exist without our electrical consent. That's how simple that part is. I know. And so then the obvious logic derived from that is, well, how am I going to be able to talk to my mother, okay, over in Sweden if I'm in America? Whoops. That's called stuck on a hamster wheel. You think they didn't know that when they rolled these systems out and began selling Microsoft DOS, right? OS2 systems, Unix, the Unix systems, all the colleges, when all that rolled out, putting computers in every classroom, machine learning. Yeah, and what we found out about machine learning and creative learning, big difference in speed. Big difference in fire. On fire to create is on fire to learn. They are synonymous. And I know that from my own experience. That's why I simply share what I've experienced through what I've learned with all of you. That's all I do. That's neutral ground. That's a neutral charge. Zero. The speed of learning. I know, Mama. And what I realized, acknowledged as a child, that's why any hearts or thanks that come back to me, they go to my teachers. All the ancient ancestral teachers. And naturally it goes back to the grand creator spirit, my first teacher. Sophia was my first teacher. The first teacher is the first echo, the core of all creation, the first musician, the first sound magician, the eternal sound magician of eternal, absolute, pure love. So when you know you were born out of fire, and the first experience that you have born out of that volcano is experience pure, eternal, absolute love as a soul, you know your creator. So we never lost our connection. The line never went dead. It never went dead water. It never went dead magnet. It's not a dead system that requires a primal light supply. We are that electrical supply. That's how we know one from the other, the grand creator spirit. So you all have a beautiful day. I think somebody mentioned on one of my videos, I guess, the other day about wanting to talk to me online. Every sequence that I experienced is like etched in the Rosetta Stone, the crystal pink rose. So whatever I'm supposed to experience is exactly what I'm supposed to experience from what I'm going to learn from that experience, why I'm here. Why I do what I do every day out here on this rock. To declare it as hollow, sacred ground. Right? On behalf of the grand creator. But it's not be half, be whole. Be one. Relax. Be calm. Be one, be calm, be loved, be pure, be free. Free to truly express who you really are without any resistance. To experience zero. No pressure waves. Letting it all go. Let it all go. Just be calm. Right? So it's you see how that works with time, density, and dimension between no pressure and pressure. Because I've mentioned this before when I was a child. When you're moving, shoo, it's like I don't have time because there isn't any time. Time is the illusion. Death is an illusion. There's only what love is, and that's all I've ever known. So I knew that at 4 years of age, and it doesn't change because my mind cannot be changed. They cannot wipe my memory. Okay? So I thrive on being pure, maintaining my purity, which is my security, which is the shield, which is protecting all creation. That's how we do it. The energy is pure because the love is pure, because that love is true. So I learned how to truly love all creation because that's a mirror. That's the mirror that I am. That's what I am is. I am what love is in living spirit. The breath of Kemaloti, the first breath of the eternal spirit of fire, the eternal core of all creation, the core of creation itself, as a cell, as a seed. Because that seed is pure fire. The purest fire there is, which is the purest light there is, which is the purest love there is. Ah, yeah.